Starting today's video on the 1 minute chart, I want to go over my day trades first because this was the most exciting thing that happened today. Yesterday, I said, I think that this rise we saw was all just another fake out, and I really hope so, or I'm going to get wrecked. And in that thought, I said, you know what? I'm just going to be tough. I'm going to buy 10 out of the money puts that expire tomorrow on Friday. So I bought 10 1450 puts for $9 a pop, and you can see that the downtrend started and immediately started to challenge this uptrend that we saw form yesterday. And the price did come down, pull up a little bit, test, and you can see that the price moved down lower, and what that did is it moved this downtrend. And I want to pay attention to this right now. You can see there was a low here, and so if I'm not going to overlap the price with that trend line, you can see that this was the original downtrend. And then as new lows are set, that downtrend has to come down. So this candle right here, this candle set the new downtrend and pulled this line out. And then I extend that downward. And when the price moves back towards that trend line, this is how I find bottoms. And I'm very good at this. This is a very simple way to find where price is going to reverse or correct. And on the daily time frame, I think what we're seeing is this point right here, where that downtrend comes into contact and begins to depart from the trend to set a new low later. So that was when I decided to say, hey, it's time to sell those puts for 200% profit. I didn't quite get it, but I could have. And actually, oh my goodness, I'm grateful just to have recovered my potential losses from yesterday, and I actually secured a gain today, which is even better. But I still looked, I had to look, and if I had held those puts that I bought for $9, I could have sold them for $43 later in the day. But you know, you can't think like that. 200% is great. I don't need to fuss about not getting 400%. I really don't. So here we go. As the downtrend continued, I opened up another series of puts, or a put. This was a May 6th $15 put. I bought it for $40, and the price continued to decline. And when the price popped back up, I said, oh no, this doesn't look all that bullish. It really didn't. Look at the volume. It's super, super low. And there's some heavy resistance here at 15. And when the price pulled back off of that level, that's where I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take those profits. So I made money there too. Let's see. That was, oh, I was holding one more put. This was confusing because I had 1450 puts from a 1450 put from yesterday, and then I bought 10 more today, so I had 11. So I sold 10, and then I sold the 1. Nonetheless, you can see that as the price continued to decline, I started to take my losses. This is me taking losses from yesterday. Yes, losses, and that's okay because I was just grateful to get out. And then I said that we're probably going to see a rectangle here, some horizontal movement, which would just be terrible for options. But I went ahead and bought a $15 put anyway, just in case, because a full measured move down from that initial run would have a price target of like 13 something. Let me show you what I mean. So in a measured move down, we have two legs, right? There's one leg and then there's a second leg. And I saw this uptrend start to form, and I said, if this breaks down, I don't want to miss that second leg, because that second leg would go really low. Really low. Look at how low it would. If it was a full extension, we'd be down to 1380. Instead, we got about half of that, bottoming at 1436, which is actually a sign of weakness in the downtrend. And I wasn't really expecting to see that. And so as the price pulled up from that trend line and began to challenge this downtrend, I said, I'm out. Boom! I pulled out at a loss. It was a moderate loss, but that's okay because I actually had some profits to eat into to accept the loss, which was nuts. But I was playing it safe, especially after yesterday. I don't want to stress myself out too much, right? Like, nonetheless, you can see that that uptrend did give out and the price did fall. And I was a little concerned when it started to break out because there just wasn't enough time in the day to establish that second leg fully, and that was just how I saw it. But sure enough, we didn't get that full second leg. There wasn't time. And the implied volatility actually wasn't rising. The implied volatility did not rise during this fall, and that was suspicious to me. Sure enough, the price bottomed and reversed and pulled up, forming a new corrective trend, breaking the downtrend that we started today. Now that's important because we still have this corrective uptrend from to retest. You can see that when the breakout did occur, there was a small test here, and there was another test of the breakout price. That means that The point through which the price passed as it crossed the trend line, it needs to be tested. The price needs to rise back up to it and reject there and make a new lower low in order to confirm the breakout, which did occur. But for a trend line that lasts all day, the test should be a little longer than a few minutes. Just looking at the scale, if you know, this was the whole move, that'd be fine, but the move started much higher, so I'm expecting another test of that uptrend, and I think we're going to see that tomorrow. And now I'm going to be really specific. I think we're going to see a price mirror right here. I think this is the bottom of a price mirror, and so we're going to see the price make this move in reverse tomorrow, which would lead to a test of the $15 level, which makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. In fact, if we close near $15, that would make a lot of sense too. So that's why I'm saying tomorrow might be a short green day or a short red day, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of movement. People are probably having a really bearish sentiment. There's probably a lot of panic, but let's be honest. Today's move was a little too far too fast, so it probably will generate a small bounce. From this point onward, I'm thinking that I'm going to play it safe for the rest of the week. I'm going to play it safe. I'm expecting this upward move and a test when and if the price does reject here. I'm going to buy puts towards the top. So let me just do some really super speculative charting. Probably bounce tomorrow, and I'm going to be looking for some sort of topping pattern up here. We've had a lot of double tops lately, a lot of double tops. I have that Bulkowski's webpage on double tops pulled up here on the right above me, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see this, and as that price breaks down, to see the decline continue. But there's a catch now. There's a new level of support here. This peak from today is probably going to act as support in the future decline tomorrow. That would mean, you know, there's going to be an opportunity to make money as the price rejects and heads down lower, I think. And then we're going to have this question again, are we looking at a double bottom? And I'm not going to worry about that too much yet. If this does play out like I think it will, there's going to be a line through which I'm going to be buying calls if the price passes through it. If we have a double top and the price comes back down, there's going to be a test of this trend. And if this trend is broken, then the price is likely to keep rising. And who knows how high that's going to go. There's a lot of resistance up here. And if that was achieved, I would expect a pullback. So you can see how I expect the price to more or less just kind of grind sideways tomorrow. If at open the price dumps and just keeps dumping, yeah, I'll buy puts. And if it just climbs like crazy, yeah, I'll buy calls. But those are kind of extreme moves. I don't really count on those except for yesterday. But double bull trap 2 days in a row, and come on, like, yeah, I'll buy puts into that. Absolutely, and I was rewarded for doing so. So those are my day trades for the day. My board is looking really messy. I'm gonna just like show my board here. A lot of red. There's a lot of red on Wednesday. So I was actually down $48 yesterday, but I was up 78 today, so that's really good. I did look at the price of the 1450 puts that I sold for $18 later in the day towards the low, and they were worth like $43. So if I had held those, I could have like doubled the value of my account, but I'm not going to be worried about that. I'm not going to be worried about that. I'm just grateful that I was able to recover any potential losses and secure a gain today. My day trading chart reflects that, and it just feels really good. I like keeping that day trading chart, and I like sharing this journal. This is what keeps me grounded. Watching yesterday's video while the price plummeted felt really good. So that helps me keep my head and manage my expectations. I think this is a pretty good forecast. I really do. Now, I want to zoom out and talk about some other patterns I'm looking at currently. I do think that we have a double top in, well, it's kind of like an intraday. It's like an intra-week pattern. I'm going to turn on the 15-minute chart. I think it looks the best here. It stands out pretty well against the last downtrend. You can see the downtrend came, it broke, and we formed a double top above there. That's what I'm talking about when I say that I expect to see topping patterns above trend lines. Because prior to today, that the downtrend was broken out of, and I can't seem to draw a line. Like, there's a downtrend, right? So you can see how that topping pattern occurred above that line. And sure enough, this almost confirmed. This pattern almost confirmed. So 1, 2, the price now needs to pass below the intermediate value between those two peaks in order to confirm the pattern and indicate a price decline towards 1376. So How close did we get today? How close did we get? Oh, didn't confirm. So I would expect probably another day, probably a short red day would be the best. And if that short red day were to close below this level, this 1468 level, that would be very bearish. And then I would expect on Monday to be reaching this lower price target. Generally, I think things take a little less time than they actually do. So I want to say, hey, tomorrow we're going down to this target. But actually, it's probably going to be Monday if it does occur. So that's what I'm looking at in the 15-minute time frame, double top, and it looks just like the double tops, you know, like this. Here's a double top, right? Here's a double top. So pretty interesting stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom out to the 1-day chart, the daily. We'll have a look at what's here. And I'm gonna turn on my default drawings now. Okay, let's have a look. What happened today? Did we have an increase in implied volatility? We sure did. Sure did. The uptrend in implied volatility continues. The RSI, looking bearish. Finally turning down, making a decisive push down. So in the spirit of maintaining that momentum, probably a short red day tomorrow. Maybe we do touch that double bottom target and bounce. Maybe that's most likely. Volume still very low, and that's totally fine. The bear trend has been following a very, very, very low level of volume. You can see through here. It looks pretty comparable. So that's what I have for today's analysis. Tomorrow is probably going to be a short red day touching down at the double top price target in the high 13s. Probably not going to see a dramatic move. If we do, I am going to trade it. I was able to recover my losses from yesterday and secure gains. So this week's trading log for me is looking very nice. And those are my thoughts from here on out. And I'll do more in-depth analysis later this weekend. Well, it's not this weekend yet, but you know. I mean, it's not like I script these things. I'm just like